right, guys, welcome into the AfterSchrock. I apologize for I can't talk anymore, for the delay. So this morning, right, I wanted to make sure I had enough time to sit down and I didn't get my show agenda written, and it was such a positive response to the agenda-driven shows that I'm like, okay, I need to do this like every show from now on. So last night, my wife and I were out, and I didn't have time to write the entire agenda for the show, and so I had to do it this morning. So I figured I'll get up early, and then that became we got home at like 11 o'clock. Then that became, I'll just move, I'll hustle in the morning. I'll move fast. I'll shave really fast, and get out the door. And so then I don't know. Because we went out and we saw Piano Guys. Today's my birthday, guys. So we went out and saw Piano Guys for my birthday yesterday, and it was a great show. It was a really, really good show. And so then we got home at 11 o'clock. We got everything, everybody in bed. Everything's good to go. Babysitter got her taken care of. And then, okay, so now we go to bed. And I reach over to set my alarm for 5:40 because I get up at 5:40 so I can be out the door by 6 in the morning so that I can be here by 7 and have everything set up and ready to go. Some reason I hit 5:20. So, I don't know about you, but on my birthday, I like to get up extra early in the morning. Deprive myself of just a little bit more sleep. Not enough to get upset about, but enough to matter. Because tonight, they're going to be singing happy birthday to me, and I'm just going to be like, game over. So anyway, apologize, I can't talk right, because apparently I didn't sleep enough. But one story we didn't get to on the program that the agendas are helping me get to all the stories and get them all covered. But there was just so much to cover on the show today. The Disney Plus story. I know a lot of you, there were 10 million people that subscribed to Disney Plus in the first week it was out. To put that number in perspective, HBO has 10 million subscribers. They started in 2014, and that took them this long to get there. Netflix has, I think, 30 or 40 million subscribers. And they're Netflix. And Disney Plus, in their first day, got 10 million. It was pretty phenomenal. A lot of those are freebies, free introductory. Everybody got a free introductory 7-day trial offer when you sign up, so you didn't have to pay any money at first. But we'll see next week how many people stay. But one of the big things that happens when you have 10 million people doing anything, criminals are going to see opportunity there. And so the criminals have decided that they're going to actually steal Disney Plus accounts. They basically take your username and password. So in other words, how do they get it? You probably use a similar username and password to all your other usernames and passwords. So if they already know one of your usernames or passwords, which is your email address, and a password, maybe they have a bunch of passwords. So they just go and they try to log into Disney Plus with this person's email address and every password that they know. And if they get lucky and they get in, the first thing they do is they log out all of your devices, and then they change your password. And then they put your account up for sale on the darknet for somebody who wants to buy a Disney Plus account for maybe $3 instead. I mean, literally, what are they charging, $7 for these accounts? And like, I can get mine for $3 if I'm a criminal. I mean, really? Like, I don't understand. So literally, there was feeds of people who were saying they got locked out of their Disney Plus accounts, and it's because bad guys were changing their passwords. The price for these accounts on the dark net is varying from $3 up to $11. Yes, Disney Plus did have a lot of technical issues, but this wasn't really a technical issue. This was people's accounts being sold. So yeah, which is $3. Prices range from $3 per account to as much as $11, which, by the way, is more than what a legitimate Disney Plus account goes for, which is $7. Below are screenshots of different ads that people had advertising the fact that they had these accounts that were for sale. So I'm trying to think in my head, why would somebody want to buy a stolen Disney Plus account for 1.5 times retail price? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Then I thought more about it, and I was like, what if you were in Iran and you wanted to have some nice entertainment, they probably frown upon you using an American entertainment company there. What if you were in some other repressive regime country? What if you were in like a, I don't know, really authoritarian country? There's got to be people who are willing to pay money for these Disney Plus accounts to watch Disney's content and not be tracked. Maybe Disney should just come up with a, hey, we don't track you option, and there you go. You're signed in, you're logged in, no big deal there. Thank you for the birthday wishes, guys. I didn't say it on the show, because I didn't want to. There wasn't time. But anyway, Carolyn, I don't know how you keep losing me. You keep losing me. Yeah, Mark, I wish I was 30. I wish I was 30. I'm gonna give you a ha-ha for that one. 7 years away from a half a century, so we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So anyway, so if you have a Disney Plus account, just be forewarned that you're being targeted. If you use the same password that you use on other services, you're going to get your account taken away by bad guys, and you'll have to contact Disney, and they won't believe that you're you because you changed your password, didn't you? Didn't you? And so then you're going to get out of this. So a lot of these Disney Plus accounts are going to go away, these hacked ones, because they were probably all 7-day trials. They're all going to get canceled if nobody can log into them. I would cancel it, and it would kind of go from there. Yeah, like the other day, I got my credit card statement, and it said there was a $30 renewal on there for another year of Consumer Reports. And I'm like, Consumer Reports? When's the last time I got a Consumer Reports magazine? I don't remember seeing one of those in a long time. So why am I subscribing to this? Of course, there's the online version. I can go to their website, but I don't know what the login is. So I just canceled it. You know, I'm like, why would I keep something that I'm obviously living just fine without? I mean, sometimes you go through the checkout lane and you see the Consumer Reports magazine and something looks interesting, and you'll buy the magazine. But you know, I don't know that I need a subscription to it. I don't know that I'm consuming that much stuff that I need that many reports. You know, so yeah, maybe not. All right, so. Let me give you the deets on all of the wonderful, wonderful coding extravaganzas that have been happening at Schrock Interactive with Drive Advisor for the last week. All right, so we had this wonderfully stable version of Drive Advisor that hadn't changed in years. But we knew we were going to put out the battery portion of Drive Advisor. We also needed more data about your hard drive so that we could accurately predict when it was appropriate to replace your hard drive. We want to add additional functionality like monitoring if your hard drive is too full. You get those stupid pop-ups from Microsoft that says, hey, the area on your C drive, you're running out of space. Well, that's great. What do you do about it, right? Well, customers call and they say, hey, I've got this problem on my computer. It says I'm running out of space on my C drive. Wouldn't it be awesome if we were able to have them open Drive Advisor and Drive Advisor could tell them exactly what to do? And so those are the kind of service functionality that's being built into the API, the programming backend of Drive Advisor, so that once these wonderful marvels of science are ready to be released to the masses, the infrastructure is there to support them. So the frustrating thing is we didn't change anything about what Drive Advisor already does. That stuff remained completely unchanged. What changed was we collected some additional information and added it to your local Drive Advisor database, which is saved in your program data folder on your computer. Well, all of a sudden, some people reported. The first week, we didn't hear much of anything back from people. And I was like, okay, well, what's our adoption rate, Alfonso? And in the morning meeting on Monday, Alfonso says it's 33%. And I was shocked because, you know, Drive Advisor, number one, it automatically updates itself every time you restart the computer. Number two, Secure Updater supports Drive Advisor, obviously. So even if Drive Advisor didn't update itself, Secure Updater is going to update Drive Advisor once every 8 hours. So even if you don't restart your computer, you're going to get the new version of Drive Advisor. How is it possible that we only have a 33% rate of adoption? This has like been with me for 3 weeks, guys. I've been like wondering, like there's that many people just have their computers turned off and they just didn't get the update because they have a computer, it's in a closet. Maybe people got rid of their computers. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did 66% of Drive Advisor computers replace their computer this year? That doesn't make any sense. That's way too high. Way too high. So why would there only be an adoption rate? So I said, okay, let's give it a week, right? So then we find out about the spinning issue. Because I got on the radio and I said, hey, there's a new version of Drive Advisor, guys, check it out. And you all opened up your Drive Advisor and you realized it was just spinning and it wasn't showing you anything. All of our Drive Advisors in the service centers are working perfectly. And we're like, what in the world is going on? This is a completely intermittent problem. It impacts some people and not others. It doesn't seem to matter how old or new your computer is. It doesn't seem to matter if it's Intel or IBM. It doesn't matter if you're running Windows 7 or Windows 10. None of that matters. Literally, it's like random. And so, okay, so then we figure, okay, maybe it's a timeout issue because we noticed some people who had the problem was extremely prevalent among older computers. So we said maybe it's a timeout issue where the computer's not booting fast enough and Drive Advisor is just locking up, basically trying to get this data, waiting its turn, and it just forgets what it's doing. So we removed some timeout functionality that prevented those things from happening. And so, or we had changed it or lengthened it. The guys did their magic. And we saw our adoption rate go from 33% to 37%. Yay, we fixed it for some people. So now our completely random problem is slightly less random, but we haven't solved it. So then we go into it further, and we say, okay, we find another bug. And honestly, meeting is on Monday. I haven't been briefed on what the bug was yet, but it was fixed. 1.7 was released and pushed out. I'll be curious to see what our adoption rate is this morning or on Monday morning and see if it's any higher than 37%. I know it's been fixed for some people because I've done Schrock tests for some people that 1.7 fixed their problem. But as I'm seeing from the feed on the show today, it's not isolated. It's a significant number of people. If I do a radio show and 3 or 4 people pop up on the show and say my drive advisor is doing that too, that's from a sampling perspective, that is a significantly or a statistically significant sample of people that are having a problem. It's just there's still something going on. Then the other thing we noticed with version 1.7, we knew we had a bug still in there somewhere that we have to get figured out. So we're working on 1.8 right now. Because on 1.7, it either says that your hard drive doesn't have a temperature, which all hard drives have a temperature, or it says the temperature is like the surface of the sun at 4,100 degrees Celsius, which is obviously not true. Otherwise, you'd have a ball of lava in the middle of your living room. So something's wacky with the temperature. It's probably just a stupid calculation thing. What's going on here now? So we're working on 1.8 to fix that issue, but we found a clue in this. If anything good came of that, I noticed on my computer, like I said, I have the 2 different hard drives. I have a solid state, 2.5-inch solid state Samsung drive, and then I've got the M.2 solid state Samsung drive that snaps into the motherboard. And so I've got one as my primary drive. That's the one on the motherboard because those are always faster. That's why all of our 2020 model year computers, guys, have the new faster solid states in them that snap down on the motherboard. Pretty cool. But my other solid state is a backup drive that backs up the main drive. So I have a backup all the time, automatically. It's pretty cool. We can do these kind of things at Schrock, you know. My backup drive has a normal temperature. My M.2 drive does not have a temperature at all. I wonder. Now I know that not everyone who has the problem has an M.2 drive, so it's not. But there's got to be a reason why that's there, and maybe if I see my gift, if you will, is to take situations that other guys are just like, what? They're all in the weeds and they're figuring out, and I come in and I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. Something's not right. Look there. Look at that area. That doesn't make sense. And here's why it doesn't make sense. Oh, Thor, that's not the problem. It's a problem, right? We can all agree it's a problem. Let's focus. I can see this problem. Let's fix that problem first, because I can see that one before we dig for a problem that we don't know about. Okay? Then we fix that problem, and I don't know, 6 times out of 10, maybe I get lucky, and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, gotcha. So anyway, so we're going to look into that on Monday, guys. We have coders working on that. Now is the time to figure this out. This is why we wanted to lay the foundation ahead of time. The other thing is, admittedly, we didn't do as much testing on this as we would have done if we were messing around with Secure Updater, for example. Drive Advisor is a free program, so we try to keep the cost of development as low as possible. Secure Updater is a paid subscription program. When we mess around under the hood with Secure Updater, that gets tested 6 ways from Sunday before that goes out. Not to say we didn't test the Drive Advisor thing. We tested it in-house, and it works on all of our computers in-house. And we have some computers that are really nice, and we have some of our tech computers are like our cloning computer. Its only function on the surface of the planet is to clone hard drives. That's all it does. It is a piece of garbage. I'm pretty sure it was a recycled computer that somebody didn't want anymore because something was wrong with it, that we picked up off the floor, fixed whatever was wrong with it, and said we can use this to clone hard drives now. And we don't have to take up one of our nice tech stations doing something stupid like cloning hard drives. Yeah, so that is the cloning computer is a piece of junk, and it runs Drive Advisor just fine. So something is definitely odd that's going on. Now, the thing we didn't anticipate, well, first of all, we didn't know this was going to happen with Drive Advisor, or we wouldn't have done it right before Safe Upgrade. But what ended up happening is when you get the spinning icon, Safe Upgrade waits for a result from Drive Advisor on the health status of your hard drive. And so Safe Upgrade sits and waits. And if your Drive Advisor just keeps spinning and doesn't give you a temperature or a value for the hard drive health, everything just stops. It just waits. There's not a timeout. Or you might get the message that says Drive Advisor was unable to determine the health of your hard drive, which can happen on some things for legitimate reasons or because of this stuff that's going on. So basically, the issue we had there was Safe Upgrade was just locking up for people because Drive Advisor wasn't kicking a value back. And so we're going to be editing. Now we're going to be modifying Safe Upgrade as well to make sure that you know, if you don't get a value from Drive Advisor in X number of seconds, then just move on and you know, continue going forward and give them the warning message that we aren't able to determine the health of the hard drive, kind of thing. So anyway, some lessons learned, some bugs that we didn't realize before. But overall, 1909 is a relatively small update. It's much smaller than previous iterations, so we've had fewer people have had download problems where the download goes to like 30% and then locks up because their internet service provider dropped. So fewer people are having that problem. Some people still are, but fewer people. The installation rate seems to be much higher, the success rate, once we get to the installation portion. Unfortunately, without Safe Upgrade, we're seeing the failure rate is also much higher. Failure being defined as when the update installs successfully, but there are unintended negative consequences. Like your data's gone, you know, that'd be bad. Or the computer doesn't reboot, that'd be bad. Or your Office program doesn't work. Although if you are running Office 2010, you know, it's 9 years old. The Microsoft supports the program for 4 to 5 years, so you are like beyond 2 upgrade cycles out if you're running Office 2010. It's pretty rough. So there's not a lot we can do about that besides get you into a new version of Office, but that's unfortunately the world that we live in now. All right, so that was going on behind the scenes there all week long. The Veterans Day thing was super cool, guys. It was so cool. And then we took a picture. The picture you saw on our Facebook page was taken at the Papillion Service Center. Neither subject knew their picture was being taken, by the way, because I'm just that stealthy. Because I told the guys, hey, I need a picture for our Veterans Day post. Get me a picture of a veteran. And here I'm standing in the Papillion Service Center, and there's a picture of a veteran with his VFW jacket on and his cap on, and I'm like, shake and bake, baby. I mean, if we had a guy come in uniform, that'd be better, but this works. So I took that picture and said, well, this picture is not, you know, if I get another picture that's better, then I'll use that, but this is fine otherwise. And it turns out, I posted that picture to Facebook, and one of my employees shared it on their Facebook page. And that gentleman was the grandfather of one of one of our employees has a friend, and that was her grandfather. So she was like, I didn't even know he was a Schrock customer. That you work at Schrock, and my grandfather takes his computer to Schrock. That's crazy. I had no idea. But no, it was really cool. We got to serve a lot of veterans. And the weird thing is they were thanking us. And you know, you don't want to be rude, so you say you're welcome, but you know, thank you. You know, this is like, and I can't tell you how many veterans even veterans that didn't come in, that just called in to say thank you for not having a mattress sale. My wife and I were driving down to the Piano Guys yesterday, and I drove past a mattress store in downtown Omaha, and I pointed, and I'm like, look, a mattress sale. It's like, look, there is one. It does happen. But, you know, I don't feel like doing a sale for Veterans Day really honors anybody. It's more honoring than taking the day off to, you know, sit at home and do nothing. Great. You know, no one stops and thinks about it unless they've had people who are military or in the military or have a family member or a friend or something like that and you'll realize the sacrifices these people make. My wife grew up in the military as a child, so she's lived that lifestyle. So she's very, very aware of the sacrifices that not only military, you know, people who serve, but their family members as well make. So anyway, I was hoping that we'd have hundreds and hundreds of veterans that come in. So I was a little like, you know, only 38 came in. But then the guys were like, you will not believe how much stuff these people need, Thor. This is insane. And, I mean, we're talking, so a veteran comes in, they've got an infection, they need a maintenance checkup. There are 2 versions behind their Windows 10. We install a trial of Safe Upgrade or of Secure Updater to get them running and working properly, everything up to date there. And then we get them all cleaned out, we get them all fixed up, and it's like a $300-$400 tab that's just written off. Because that's so the thing is, guys, when you bring your computers in for us to work on them, we don't sit there and try to run up a bill on you. You know, if there's things that you need, it's our job to tell you need them, and we'll try to put them in an order of importance for you in case that some decisions have to be made from a budgetary standpoint about the things you need to do and the things that can wait 6 months for the next checkup. But if it's Veterans Day and everything is free, well, we're going to call you and say, this is what you need, and it's not going to cost you anything. Can we go ahead and do it? And everyone said, well, of course, go. But we still asked permission. And the guys went through and just, I mean, literally did, it was something like $8,000 worth of work for 38 people. It was some ridiculously large number of labor that was just given away. And they were able to go through and make sure a lot of people's computers were taken care of. We found a lot of batteries that were on the cusp of failure. A lot of old customers that just hadn't been in a while. One gentleman hadn't been in since 2016. He had a holiday special laptop, had no maintenance whatsoever done. Diane, if you're listening, had no maintenance whatsoever done to it since 2016. And he shows up for the Veterans Day thing. We do a maintenance checkup for him. We find out his battery is at 82.4% health. We technically do not recommend you replace the battery until it's below 80% health. That's our cutoff threshold, where once it loses 20% of its capacity, you're at a large enough risk of something bad happening that we want to make sure it gets taken care of. So anyway, so yeah, he was able to get in and out. So that was a huge success, and I wanted to thank you guys for sharing that on Facebook, for helping us get the word out about that event. It was something we kind of decided to do the week before, kind of last minute, and it was one of the better things because yeah, you don't understand. Like, we have really good people that work for us. You don't last long at Schrock if you're not a genuinely good person. Um, but even genuinely good people, especially young people, they haven't learned that life lesson yet, that doing things for other people is what makes you happy. And it's counterintuitive and it doesn't make sense, but it's not about everything you can get from other people. It's how you can help other people. And that will give you a much greater reward in life. And this Veterans Day event, we have goals and we have benchmarks for success. Like any business, we have to have these things. We measure our warranties, for example, like how many customers had to come back because something wasn't done right. Even if it wasn't our fault, even if it was we did everything right and the customer was wrong, that still counts against you because we should have done a better job communicating. That's just how we roll. We keep track of average ticket totals. We keep track of I got to make sure my guys are actually doing their jobs and making sure they're recommending things to you that you need, and recommending them in the right way and ordering them in the right order of importance for you, so that you're getting that same level of service no matter what Schrock service center you go to, the same service I would provide you. And so it's a learning process, basically. So we have to track and monitor things. And I literally asked them to track and monitor how much free stuff they could give away. And that's understandably not a metric we typically track. Aside from like whoopsie daisy, we call it manager discounts. That's when somebody screwed up and we gave something away for free because somebody made a mistake, and that's a manager discount. We track those, but as opposed to a marketing discount, which is what I do here, those we track too. But so we created a discount type for Veterans Day called a Veterans Discount. And we wanted to track and see how much free stuff we could give away in the week. And it actually became like this really fun contest in the service centers of which service center. We were texting pictures of work orders back and forth, like, check out this one, bam, $355, baby. Bet you can't beat that. And so, like, literally, they're calling veterans, like, are you sure you don't want this? Are you sure you don't want that? Let's put a solid state in there. The labor's free today. I can do all the labor for free. And so it became a really cool thing where all the guys were working really hard, and they were working really hard to give veterans free stuff. It was different. It was fun. It was one of those things, like, if you have a cat and you've ever moved the furniture around and the cat kind of goes crazy for like the first day, it was like that. It was intellectually stimulating for the guys because it was different than normal. The veterans obviously appreciated it, but the thing that none of them realized until after the fact, and we had a meeting about it afterwards, was how did it feel to give these guys this help for free? Was there anyone who stood out to you? Anybody who was particularly appreciative? Did you make a difference for someone's life, for somebody maybe who couldn't afford to have the work done that they needed to have done to their computer, and because of this special, you were able to make a difference in their life? And all of a sudden, you see their eyes kind of go, oh, damn. And then it hits them that they did something really good for another human being. And suddenly they feel good about that. So I don't know, it's really neat to see that happening. And we've tried, like I was talking in the show, we tried to do so many things over the years to get these guys out of the service center and doing something in the community but it's hard because, like, if they're not in the service center, they're not doing their jobs. We don't have a ton of extra staff. So if we take people out of the shop, the service levels go down, And you want to do things as a shop to build that camaraderie, right? That means we have to pull somebody from another shop to come work their shop while we take them all out to go do something. Which is why it's really hard to do like shop-wide training, because we pretty much have to shut the place down to do that. This was something that was really perfect because they could do it on the job while they got paid, doing what they do best, the way that they know how to do it, something that they love to do, and they were able to make a difference for somebody else. So it was really eye-opening from that perspective, and I think they hopefully they learned a little something from it. All right, let's see. Coming to Disney Plus soon, two-factor authentication. That's right. I can't believe do they not have that, or did they just not push it as an option right now? Oh boy. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate it. Is there a way to add programs like Steam or my graphics card updates to Secure Updater? Richard, there is not. Now, the reason that there is not right now is because Secure Updater only updates free programs. Now, Steam is technically a free program. So what I can do is I can take your request to have Steam added and pass that on to Brian. And Brian can take a look and see if he is able to get that added. Let me see if I can tag him on here. I don't know if he's... Sometimes Facebook is weird about tagging. Like it just doesn't pop up. I type his name and it doesn't pop anything up because it doesn't realize I'm trying to. Anyway, so I will let Brian know that we want to look at possibly adding Steam and see if we can get that added to Secure Updater. All right, scrolling back down here. Mary says, I was one with the Drive Advisor problems. Now I understand why Safe Upgrade stopped. I restarted my computer, which put the new version of Drive Advisor on the computer, and then when it came up, it continued on. Yep. So yeah, that's exactly why we kept telling you, Mary. Mary and I were emailing back and forth a lot this week. And I was like, Alfonso, no, it's Mary. She's got a 2017 holiday special that should be just rocketing through everything. It's not a slow thing. It's not this, it's not that. And they're like, pull Mary up. Here's her Schrock tag number. Pull her database entry up. I want to see when the last time we got a ping from Drive Advisor. And we went back and we looked, and sure enough, right after we released version 1.5, Mary's Drive Advisor stopped pinging. It was not working. It stopped pinging us. It was still sending out email alerts, but it wasn't pinging the database with a I'm alive signal to let us know that this thing, because after we don't get a ping for so many years, we deactivate the entry for security reasons. So we want to make sure that we don't have a bunch of accounts out there that are not live. And the other thing is when you go to look at the stats at driveadvisor.com, we want to make sure that those stats are accurate. It tells you how many installs we have, how many bad drives we detected over the years. So all that math is kept track of in a database. So anyway, Mary, you were like active. I was calling Mary. I'm like leaving her voicemails. Like, Mary, reboot your computer. Try again. We just pushed out another new version. I know. Yep. You know you did this yesterday. Do it again today. And so she got the new version, and it sounds like Mary's was able to go through okay. So that's awesome. Thank you for being patient with us, Mary. It wasn't Safe Upgrade that was having the issue. It was actually Drive Advisor that was having the issue, and it was having the issue with only 57% of the people that have Drive Advisor had that problem, and of that subset, how many of those people also bought Safe Upgrade? So it was about 20% of Safe Upgrade customers had that issue related to that. Then through the 2 updates that we did, we were able to programmatically resolve about half of those. So about 10% of Safe Upgrade purchasers, or about 100 people, had the problem that Mary had. Yeah, that it's not pleasant. You don't want to have an experience where a customer has a problem. Unfortunately, this is one of those, it wasn't as bad as what Google did, okay? Downward social comparison is a good way to make yourself feel better. So it wasn't as bad as what happened with Google this week, but it still isn't something that's a shining example of brilliance, and that's what we want to have. I want it stupid, simple magic is what I tell my guys. It should just work. I hate that you have to type in your username and password. I wish we didn't have to make you do that. I wish it could just work. And just know you have a license. We're working on it. We work on the magic all the time. Are you working to update and overhaul software like Drive Advisor and Secure Updater? Would it be possible to make them more accessible to blind users? I have both pieces of software. It's very difficult to get information from them because they do not work well with screen readers. Wesley, this is something that came up in our Schrock Interactive meeting last week. Being someone who's visually impaired, I'm sure that you're aware of the Domino's case. I don't know that we talked about this one on the show, but basically what ended up happening was a visually impaired person sued Domino's because the Domino's the Domino's website was not working well with his JAWS program, his screen reader. And he was not able to order a pizza from their website through his screen reader. He was able to pick up the phone and call Domino's and order the pizza, and the screen reader was able to tell him the phone number. But what the visually impaired person was suing the company for was because he stated that the Americans with Disabilities Act should apply to websites. So it's not just about wheelchair ramps and braille on elevators and things like that. This applies to websites. You should have disabled people should be able to navigate your website as well. And they sued Domino's. It's been in court since 2015, and Domino's lost. So now there's a precedent that things like this need to be more inclusive of people with visual impairment. So the challenge we have now is when we code things, when we make programs, we use libraries to make. We don't write all the code from scratch. We go get a code library, and the code library has code that's been written by people in the past that allows us shortcuts to complete things like login algorithms, security algorithms, things like that have been tested, that we know are flawless, that work perfectly. So, and I know for those of you who code, I know I'm butchering this terribly, so please bear with me. If I get too far in the weeds, I can watch the viewer number dropping down, and that's a genuine sign that I've bored people stiff. So it's time to stop. But basically, we use these libraries, and the libraries themselves are not very friendly to visually impaired people. So basically, what that would mean is to make the program completely accessible to visually impaired people, we'd have to rebuild it completely from the ground up, which is such a huge cost without a library to draw from that we probably wouldn't rebuild the program. And that's the catch-22 that we have right now. So over time, slowly, the libraries, as people are building new software with these new concerns in place, the libraries are being developed with increasing awareness toward people with visual impairment. And so there are other things that we can try to do. We can try to create what are called alt tags, where if you mouse over something, it has a line that reads what it is. The problem is for people who are sighted, it's visually very cluttering to have all these things popping up all over the place when you're navigating through there. So I will ask when we are working on, probably wouldn't be till next major revisions, because right now we're adding functionality to an existing code base. So the next major UI, maybe we need a UI redo for Drive Advisor right now. I like it. I like its UI better than I like Secure Updaters, honestly. But I will ask Alfonso and Adam and Kara on the Schrock Interactive team when we're developing this in the future to keep that in mind. If there's something that we can do that is something that is easy to add, that we can spend an extra hour of labor adding and get that in there, that gives that capability to visually impaired people, it would be very much worth it. Okay. SU programs say that Flash Player needs updated. If I click check for updates, it downloads and it says it updated. The icon is green. However, the program still shows the old version is installed. Will this cause an issue with 19.0? It will not cause an issue, Bill, but thank you for letting me know about that, because I will, Brian handles Secure Updater, so now I have two things to send to Brian. So now I'm typing him an email right now. 2 things from the show. 1, incorrect version number for Flash Player is being reported in Secure Updater. Number 2, what was the second thing? What was the second thing? Oh my goodness. I was going to let Brian know. I was going to tag Brian about something. I'm going to scroll back up because I was going to tag him about it. And if I see the comment again. Steam, that's what it was. Add Steam. A caller requested we add Steam to Secure Updater. When you have a moment, because if I don't say when you have a moment, he'll think I'm telling him to do this right now. Can you see what we would need to do? This is exciting TV, radio stuff right here to make that happen. All right. Sent. I lost one viewer while I was typing. Sorry, I typed as fast as I could. All right. Scrolling down. I sent a screenshot to Papillion in an email. Yep, Bill, I know exactly what you're talking about. Brian updated the Flash Player, but forgot to change the version number. That's what happened. So he'll change the version number, and so you have the current version of Flash Player. It's just the version number is reporting wrong. So he'll get that taken care of. Steam. Thank you, Kim. I had the problem with Drive Advisor and Windows Update. I had purchased a safe upgrade. I called the Omaha office and she was able to get the Windows Update to work. My Drive Advisor is still not working. It just hangs up on the opening screen and asking for my email, and it says it's working, but it doesn't do anything. Thank you for telling me it's asking for your email. That is humongous. Okay, so Michelle, what we need you to do is uninstall your Drive Advisor, remove it from the computer, go to driveadvisor.com and get the new version. It's www.driveadvisor, because it's American.com. Go to driveadvisor.com and download the most recent version. The most recent version is version 1.1.1.7. No, I think I put 0.17. 1.1.7. Thank you. There we go. So basically, that's the current version. That's the one you're going to want. What you have is version 1.5, and that had a problem where it asked for your email and it would spin. But because it's asking for your email, it is stuck. It has not finished installing, and as a result, you will never get the automatic update to the new version. So if you uninstall and reinstall with the new version, you'll be good to go. Anybody else who cannot confirm that they have 1.1.7, so when you open your Drive Advisor window, it says Drive Advisor, and it says 1.1.7 up there. If it doesn't say 1.1.7, you don't have the current version. You need to get the current version. You're supposed to automatically get the current version. So if you didn't automatically get the current version, or you can't confirm you have the current version, uninstall it, download it, reinstall it, and you'll be good to go. All right. Well, let's see. What else do we got here? Yep, version 1.1.7. There we go. All right. Last call for questions, guys. Anybody else have any questions for the program? Anything we didn't get covered on the show today? Any questions about the holiday special or the computer sale going on at Schrock right now? It's been kind of fun to call these people that ordered computers back with the 2019 specs and then let them know your computer's running just a few days behind. Sorry about that. But the reason is because we upgraded the specs, and I could build your computer today with the 2019 specs, but I thought you might like to have the 2020 specs. Yeah, more memory, better processors, faster hard drives. I think that's a good thing, right? Yeah, we got to keep it fresh, guys. Over at Schrock, we have to keep our computers relevant by upgrading and keeping them going. You know, we don't have we have, as a rule, because all of our computers have solid state hard drives, our computers run way faster than stuff you buy at the box store. Because when you go to the box store, if you go to Best Buy or go to the Mart this weekend, you're going to look around, you're going to see that computers with solid state drives start at around $1,000 to $1,300. Once you get into that price point of $1,000 to $1,300, you start to get some. Your solid state drive comes with other high performance items. But what a lot of those places don't do is they don't take the normal day. We call it the daily driver over at Schrock. Your daily driver laptop, which is not like an i7 holiday special, but you know the stuff that you use right now at home to check your email. You put a solid state hard drive in that, and it breathes new life into that machine. We can take a machine that has a 1-star review somewhere that people said this thing is garbage because it's so slow. We take out the mechanical hard drive, we put in a fast solid state, and it's a brand new computer. I mean, literally, it is a work of art. It's amazing what we can do with this stuff. And that's why our solid state laptops are so popular. So here's the thing. I know we only have 3 laptops on display. We have a Goldilocks method. That's how we sell stuff. We ask you what you're going to do with it, and we say this one, or this one. But keep in mind, we can order anything you want, anything you need. And we don't sell computers that don't come with fast memory and solid states. So when we quote you a price, that's going to come with a fast solid state and fast memory. The same thing we would normally do for all the Asus computers that we build. So it's just something to keep in mind. You know, if you guys are looking for a computer, or anyone in your family is thinking about one for Christmas, for example, it would be awesome if you could send them our way. I would be honored if you could send them our way, and we'll take good care of them. We'll get them the stuff that they need. We're going to give them an amazing machine that's going to last them years and years, and they're going to wonder how they ever survived before with the slow piece of junk they had. Maybe you're not in the market for a new computer right now. You thought about stocking stuffers, guys. Secure Update, or excuse me, Schrock Desk. A Schrock Desk subscription for a year is a cool stocking stuffer. It's one of those things, like, you wouldn't give it as a gift, even though it's expensive. You wrap it, put it under the tree, and somebody opens it, and it's a little box, right? And you're like, oh, it's a little box, it's jewelry. And you open it up, and you're like, oh, a year of Schrock Desk. I'm sure my computer will be great now. Thanks, dear. And it's a good gift. It really is. It's very thoughtful, very practical, but you know, it doesn't get just doesn't get your motor running, So, but it makes a great stocking stuffer. You can take a Schrock Desk subscription for a year and give it to someone as a gift, and then they don't bother you about their computer stuff. You can give somebody a gift certificate to Schrock or a gift card to Schrock. For one of the reasons that we did the upgrade that we did to Drive Advisor was we want to be able to know when you check your computer in, when you come in and say, hey, I want to get that solid state upgrade. We want to be able to know which solid state hard drive you need without having to put the thing on the bench and turn it on and test it. So we want to know how big of a hard drive do you have and how much of it is being used. We don't want to know what's on it. We just want to know how much is available. So we know how much space you're taking up so we can get you into the right drive. And so right now with the new version of Drive Advisor, the idea was for the holidays you can give us a call, say, hey, I want to buy my husband that solid state upgrade thing. So we can answer some critical questions. Number one, does he already have a solid state hard drive? We've had that happen. People come in for the special or the upgrade and they already have a solid state and they don't know it. Whoops, can't really speed that up anymore. Sorry. Number two, we want to make sure we get him the right size solid state so that when he comes in to get it, he doesn't have to pay money to upgrade the size or the capacity, right? And number three, we want to make sure that we get the right interface for his drive. Is it an M.2? Is it a 2.5 inch? We got to make sure we get the right drive. So basically, we can determine all of that with the new version of Drive Advisor, which was one of the main reasons we did the update. So now, as a result, if you were going to purchase a holiday gift and you didn't want to tell your husband, your wife, you were doing it, you could come into Schrock, and if they have Drive Advisor that's put on their computer by a Schrock technician on Schrock's bench. Those are the hoops you have to go through for us to have that information, otherwise we don't have it. Then we can say that computer, which is Schrock tag number this, their Schrock customer, then that number is this hard drive with this capacity, and they would need a 240 gig solid state for that. And there you go, this is what it would cost. And you can put that's a gift. Hey, this is a solid state upgrade for your laptop that's going to make your laptop 10 times faster. That's a gift. Schrock Desk is nice, but Schrock Desk doesn't keep motor running. A solid state hard drive does. So when you're thinking about gifts and stuff like that, let us help you out at Schrock. We can help you out. You don't have to buy a whole new computer for somebody, especially if it's not in the budget this year for the holiday season. We can breathe new life into the computer that you have, and not the old school stuff like, hey, let's add a little bit of memory to your computer and make it quicker than ever. No, we're talking about we will put a solid state hard drive in your computer and it will behave as if it is an entirely different computer. It will be stunning, the transformation that you undergo with a solid state hard drive. Also keep in mind, guys, that Windows 7 is going bye-bye in January 20th. So if your husband or wife or family member has a computer that runs Windows 7, a gift certificate for a Windows 10 upgrade wouldn't be a bad idea because they can continue to use the computer then going forward in time. So just some ideas and some thoughts. The holiday season is among us here. And sometimes these things take a little time. I did read your comment, Tom, about Safe Upgrade, that you emailed the Papillion Service Center and they had not replied. I will touch base and make sure that the Papillion Service Center has a dedicated front desk and had 3 full-time techs in this week, and they were all on the phone the entire week. So basically, I'm not sure if it was one of those things where they saw it, but they didn't have time to reply to it. But I will make sure that you get a reply today, Thomas, from Ryan in the Papillion Service Center. All right. In fact, let me send that now before I forget to send it. I'm going to copy it to Nikki too, and Ryan. All right, Thomas. You need Safe Upgrade help. All right. There we go. Done, Thomas. There you go. So you will get a call. You will get a call today. I'll follow up with a phone call to them too today as well to make sure that gets taken care of for you. All right, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to join me for the show as always. I'm glad we were able to do the AfterSchrock. Yep, I know we're building, Thomas. It's one of those things. She got in a little bit later than I think she was the last test builder that we did, and so basically between you and me and the wall, we didn't need any more test builders. but you're such a fan of the show, Thomas, that we made sure that we got her in on it. She's not going to have to wait like everybody else until, guaranteed before Christmas Eve. We're going to be ordering hers in before that. We're putting a batch together right now. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me how many we have toward that batch. But once we have that batch assembled, that we can place that batch order for 10 units, we're going to send that out, and hers will come back. So I would imagine sometime in the next week or so, but we'll be in touch and let you know as soon as it's ready. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the show and liking and sharing it. It means a lot to us. Thank you for voting for us in all the Best of competitions. We didn't win Best of Des Moines, but I guess that makes sense because, technically we're not there yet. But watch out next year. I don't even know if there is a Best of Des Moines. There's got to be, right? So if there's a Best of Des Moines, somebody email me and let me know who runs it so I can get in on that deal. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you again next Sunday.